Hello all, welcome to this course on ISTQB Foundation Level Examination Preparation. This is a chapter 6 and in chapter 6 we already have gone through what exactly the test tool considerations are, and this video will start with test tool classification. So before going into the test tool classification, let me give you the better understanding about the flow. Alright, so if you are working on a project, so what you have to consider, firstly you need some tool to manage your belongings. So belongings is nothing but your requirement documents, your design documents, your test products, your data or your log or your reports. All right, your measurements. So all these are all your test belongings that you have to accommodate. So for this you need one management tool. Definitely you, if you are working employee, or if you are started to work in any industry, you would definitely have came across the terms called SVN or PTC or doors or QC or ALM or you know ALM or RQM. So anything, you have so many management tools. These are all management tools. All right, so you need a tool to manage your stuff. That is the first. Second one is you need a tool for design and implementation. All right, the first one is the management tool, second is a design and implement. Obviously before developing any software you need design, then only you have to implement, that is the software, your code has been done, right? So design and implementation, you need some tool. Then third comes here is you have to do the static analysis. So we know the classification of testing, right? Static and dynamic. So for doing the static analysis we need tool. So obviously for going through the test products we may not require any tool, but if you want to go in depth with the code level we need a tool to do static analysis. Then fourth one is your test execution, that is your dynamic testing. All right, so test execution. Then last one is your measurement or dynamic analysis. That is the test execution, whatever you are doing is a dynamic testing. The log that you are going to analyze is a dynamic analysis. All right, so it's very simple. Just understand management. You need a tool for management, then you need a tool for design and implementation, you need a tool for static analysis, you need tool for the dynamic testing, that is static testing, then dynamic testing. And dynamic testing is also called test execution, that I have been mentioned here. Then whatever you have done on a dynamic testing, that is the test execution, you need a tool to do measurement and dynamic analysis. On some projects the same tool that for the test execution the analysis may be same, so it is well and good. If not, you need a tool. All right, so that's all about this test tool classification. Let's see one by one that, and you can just see you can able to remember this stuff or not. So tool support for the management of testing and testware. See, this is the first one. All right, so what we discussed, right? So in this management we have again five classification. See, this is test management tool, requirement management tool, defect management, configuration and continuous integration tools. Here the D means it's used by the developers, others four are used by the testers. All right, so under this management tools you have these five classification. One is test management tools and application, that is your ALM. Then requirement, you can store your requirement here. I have listed out, right? So requirement. Then if you have any defect management also, Bugzilla, Jira, that is also a defect management tool. You have to do the manage your defects. Then configuration, if you have some kind of configuration, canalizer configuration or control disk, automation disk, whatever the configuration you can be stored, right? That is called configuration management tools. Then continuous integration tools is a development tool. So here the question will be like they'll be given these four options, and they'll be asking like in this test, in this tool support for the management of testing a test where which one is for the developers, then you have to pick this is the right answer. All right, then tool support for the test design and implementation, this is the second one we discussed. All right, so here we have two. One is model based testing tools and test data preparation tool. These are all only two which comprises on the design and implementation. Test tool for the static testing. Here's a static testing. All right. The static testing is static analysis tool, that is only one, it is for the developers. It's a very important question. It's maybe asking in most of the examination. All right, the static analysis tool has been used by the developers. So they may be the question saying that the in the test tools which one has been used by the developers, then the options will be static analysis tool, test data preparation, model based, then configuration management. So what we used to think is model based is kind of a developers part, right? So we may pick this, but the answer is static analysis tools. It seems like it is a testers one, but it is a developers, so purely developers. And not only this, also test harness that we will see in the upcoming content. Yeah, see here, test support the test execution and logging. In the test execution, the logging is test execution tools, that is to run a regression test. That is, you have your the vector cast or the any tools like again Cano, Canraiser, whatever it is, you can see those are all considered as the test execution tools. Coverage tools, the requirement coverage, that is our code coverage. Here code coverage is for the developers. These are the tools, the classification, that's it. And test harness, this is all completely, it's a purely for developers. So this question is very tricky because one who has not prepared, he will pick this is for the testers. The options will be like test harness, then the coverage tools, then model based testing, then some other they'll give. Then we'll just pick model based or something which is related to, it seems like a developer's first point, but test harness is completely a developer's tool. And here finally is a tool support for the performance measurement and dynamic analysis. It is performance testing tool and dynamic analysis tool. See here, static analysis tool is for the developer. Here, dynamic analysis tool is for the developer. Test harness is for the developers, and code coverage is for the developers. And finally, continuous integration tool is for the developers. So these five are for the developers. You have to remember. Also, you should remember the complete structure. All right, test tool classification, these are all the test tools, like tools for the management of testing, design and implementation, static testing, dynamic testing, and the performance analysis, execution, the logging. Also inside this, what are the stuff we have, everything you have to remember. All right, so that's all about this test tool classification. And the next video we can come across the other stuff. If you have any queries or any doubts, you can always welcome to have your doubts. We'll try to solve as soon as possible. We'll get back to you in the next video. Until then, bye. Take care.